Hey, it's Jason with Denwerks. Got something pretty cool today. It's a 1966 Land Cruiser, Toyota Land Cruiser FJ40. I love these little things. I've had a few of them in the past. I actually found this, it's maybe a year and a half ago or something like that, and I was going to do something with it, and then a friend of mine really wanted it, so I let him have it for a while, and so he did a bunch of work to it, a lot of nice things to it, and he fell in love with another project and gave it back to me, and so I did some stuff to it. So anyways, it's a run and driving project for sure. Actually really solid, even though the paint and everything, when you look at it, it's definitely got a rustic look. A lot of good things have been done, new brakes and everything, new tires, new shocks, you know, just a lot of general maintenance stuff. So still needs stuff, but you know, it's kind of like a finished project right now. It's got new interior and everything in it. So we'll just do a little walk around here and just show you some different stuff about it. It's got all the original panels. It was actually a one owner when I got it. A lady and her husband bought it new, and then she let her grandson kind of play around with it in the last few years, and he's the one who had put the primer and different things on it. So anyways, we'll just check out some stuff. You can see here, you know, the chrome's pitted on the emblem up here on the hood, but actually the hood is in really good shape. You can see here it's not rusty or anything like that. Definitely has some patina and some age. Look up across the front of the windshield. Flip this open. You can flip that open. Put a new windshield in it, new gasket. There we go. There's a little turn knob. You know, that's all intact and everything. Even the little screen is in there. Take a look at the nose here real fast. You're gonna see little cuts right here on the fender. When I actually first got it, there was gas cans sitting on both sides of the fender, and so it actually put a little bit of weight on the fender and cracked it there, and you'll see a little crack right here, but that'd probably be pretty easy. Weld that back up, weld this back up. It's got new turn signals and everything in it. The winch does work in it. The PTO, I don't know if you can see it here when I have it underneath, but the PTO is actually, there's a cable underneath there, and it's on right now, so the PTO is always on. And if you want to engage it, then you flip the lever there. So I'll demonstrate that in a little bit, but it's a Ramsey winch there. So look at the nose, looks in good shape. There's 3 little sheet metal screws there. Not 100% sure why those were there. I think originally the guy had the license plate or something on there. So you can see here this fender, it's got its cracking and little crack right there on the fender. But overall, what I like about this thing is how solid it is. It's even got its original running boards, even though they need a lot of work. They're still on here. But what's really nice on this, you can see all the original spot welds. If you look here, these little dimples, that's all the original spot welds all the way across here. I mean, it's actually pretty impressive. You can see the door is in nice shape. It's not all rusty. And again, you can see the spot welds going down the side. So at first appearance, you know, when you look at it, it's like, you know, how rough is this? This is actually a really nice body. If you look back here where this meets up, nice. Not all rusty or anything like that. You'll see a little bit of surface stuff here, pretty minor. But again, look at all the original spot welds going across there to the back. You can see a dent, little crease right here, but you know, that's a nice piece of metal for sure. And even on the hood, or the top, the original spot welds going across there. The glass is good around the sides on the cab, but you'll need a new gasket in here. And definitely, if you actually put one of these ever in, you want to get the right tool. We didn't have the right tool. We made our own for the front windshield there. And I love the early tops on these without the window. I love the look of that on these cabs. You can see here the top just has the grandson that painted it white, and you know, it's in good shape, but it's got a lot of paint and a lot of pitting. You can see up here on the top, across the front there. You can see here, probably used a little filler right there on the edge, but overall it does stay pretty dry on the inside. Go ahead and roll the window up there. No one will show you the window. It does roll up, and it's definitely going to need new gaskets, new window felts, and everything. New gaskets around the door. I'll show you more of those when we're on there. So we'll go ahead and flip it around so you can get a little bit better look at it in the sun on the other side. Here we are. I just wanted to flip it around so you can get a better look in the sun. I actually like the sun down like this. It makes me look a little really skinny with the shadow. So anyways, we'll just walk around here, look at the back of the cab and stuff. You know, here you can see the dents and stuff. You can see the brake lights are on right now. Go ahead and look at the top. You know, the pinch weld looks okay here around this edge, but definitely there's some heavier paint, you know, chipping off here. But he had just painted it white up there on the top before we ended up with it. You can see here an old community college sticker. You know, again, it's got new tires on it. Went ahead and put a new tire on the spare as well. Bumper's looking pretty good shape. You know, no rust in the bottom of the cab here around the edges or anything like that, around the door. We'll show you the door more in a minute. You know, a lot of the paint's just been, you know, kind of sanded off, but it's nice that all the original panels are on this thing. You can see here some filler work that was done, but the inside actually feels pretty good, so it's probably pretty minor. You can see here, but you can see here all the original spot welds going across there. You know, a lot of times that's all filled with Bondo or something like that, you know, because people don't want to see them or there's issues. So it's actually nice to see all the original spot welds going across there. This glass looks good. Right here, this is the worst part in the top. Actually, you can see the separation. See how I'm pushing that? There's a bunch of seam sealer in there, old, but this all needs to be repaired down the road. It just depends on what your plans are with it overall. You can see here, all in really nice shape on the quarter. A couple little small bubbles here at the bottom of the rocker. Again, you can see a little dents and different things. You can see a little bit of filler here. But you can see all those original spot welds going across there and across the bottom of the door. So it's definitely a solid project, and it'll be nice to see what someone does with it or just enjoy it like it is. Down here in the bottom of the cowl, good shape, original spot welds. These open up here, but overall in nice condition. You know, not perfect like I mentioned before, but it's kind of like a finished project, which is kind of cool these days. This would be a cool one to take down to California and take on that winter festival off-road thing out by San Francisco that Bat was on a few years ago. So just perfect for that. So anyways, we'll go ahead and show you some more stuff. Okay, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the interior. Just wanted to mention that It does have the key lock here, but I haven't been able to make it work with the keys that I have, so it might have took a different key. You can see here, it's actually got new upholstery, new seat foam, everything, and seats have all been painted on the backs and stuff, and the rails. Really nice seats, nice color. You know, those were just installed, but everything else in here is fairly stock. You can look at the metal panels and stuff. You know, they haven't been modified or anything like that. And they're actually in good shape. If you look down here, you know, they're not rusty. You need new gaskets and everything for sure, but these are actually in really nice condition overall. And you can see right here, I can see little tiny spot welds, the originals there, but I think this has been re-welded around that edge. You know, we'll look across the dash. The horn works, but you know, you can't push it there, but we've tested the horn underneath the hood. You can see here this is kind of an interesting Land Cruiser. You don't see these that often, but this is a 3 on the tree, and it's also vacuum operated 4-wheel drive. That actually works. Pull the lever and this goes in and out. We'll demonstrate that to you later. You can see here the glove box and ashtray area. All the buttons look original. It does have a new heater core in it, but it does need, you can see here this tube is missing, a little plastic tube. There's a little cardboard piece that comes up, but that is working in it in general. When you look at the door jambs, actually in really pretty good shape overall. Look at the floors here, a little bit of surface rust, but they're actually really solid and in good shape. You can see there's 3 little holes, look like someone drilled them. 1, 2, 3 across there to maybe let some water out of there. Trans tunnel looks in good shape. See, the odometer says 57,888. I love how simple these things are. You know, it's just pretty cool old rigs. You can see here original writing from them a long time ago. Maybe mileage or different things that they wrote on the dash. So we'll go ahead and take a look on the other side. Yeah, we'll take a look at the passenger side here. You can see here the gas tank is underneath the seat. You know, unlike Jeeps, they have them on the other side, but these are on the passenger side. Again, the seats are all redone. Looks nice. I won't spend as much time on this side because I showed you a lot on the other side. You can see the glove box area. You know, I haven't had this out in rain a lot. Actually, when I first bought it, it was raining pretty hard, and it actually stayed pretty dry inside, but you're definitely probably going to have a little bit of leaking in general. But here you can see the floors are actually in really nice condition overall. You can look inside the cowl. Here you can see this pops open. The little vents you can see up here, the bottom of the cowl, that one pops open there. We'll go ahead and look at the jambs here. You know, they look in good shape. Just take a look. Here's the back of the seat, all painted. And you got the jump seats on both sides. You know, nothing's been changed in here except the new seat upholstery. And these are the original seats, I believe, that were in it. I think my friend, when I got it, it had one seat, and we needed another one to go with it, so we had to get another one. But it had the bench seat instead of the buckets. Okay, we're gonna open the back window here. It's actually pretty cool. There's two little levers there, and then it folds up and clicks in on both sides. And then here, the back door, you flip that lever up, and if you look in here, these are just cute little things that lift up there. You can see how that flips open. And then to swing the tire out, you pull that hand, oops, you unloosen it, pull the handle, and you got to give it kind of a little jerk, and that flips out. Then grab this handle. You can see here it has a little screw in it. Then that one flips open there. You can see here it needs a new gasket, obviously, but you know what I want to point out here is look how nice the bottom of the doors are on this. You know, you'll see some, well, you will see a little bit of rust right here that needs to be repaired, but you know, this isn't all rusted out all over here, but there is a little bit of rust at the bottom. You can see this door is really nice. One little hole right there, that's a drain hole. That's probably why this one rusted right at the bottom. And the nice thing is that'll be a really easy fix, and especially because the pinch weld here looks good. But if you look at the floor, really nice condition overall. You can see the bottom of the floor looks great. You can see the seats flip up. The wheel tub looks in nice condition. You know, it's definitely a rugged rig for sure. You can see there's no seat belts. You can see the original seat belt connectors to the floor. You can look at the headliner here. You know, it's definitely old and shot, but it's actually still up there. You can see here, but all the inner framing and stuff, and back behind the cab, back down in here, looks in good shape. So, okay, we're gonna go ahead and flip the hood open. It's got two little latches on each side. It does have a prop rod, but for the light, I'm gonna actually just raise it all the way up and set it. You can see it sits on the hood right there, but a lot easier to see this way. So it's actually a great running little engine. Inside here looks really good. There's not any accident damage on the inside. All the inner aprons and everything look really nice. You know, definitely a lot of wear on this Land Cruiser in general, but overall I think it's actually a pretty good machine, and a good start for somebody. And I believe it's got the original engine in it on the if you look here at the tag, FJ40L, and then you can see the VIN number there, 3950. But you know, on later Toyotas and Japanese cars, you'll definitely see a engine number sometimes on these, but this one here, you don't see one. You just see engine model F, 6-cylinder engine, but it does not show the actual number. If you look right here, you can see the engine stamping. There's I think it's F207646. We'll take a picture of that for you. Engine runs actually really good in it, and it's got a brand new head gasket on it. We put a new head gasket on it, and new intake manifold gaskets and stuff. Overall, the engine runs really good, and we'll start it up here, and it drives, you know, pretty nice. Carburetor was just had a minor rebuild through it, and has a new water pump on it. This is all the vacuum stuff here for the four-wheel drive, which actually we got that working. Generally, you can see the air cleaner, and we put new shocks on it. Things that could use is when you push in on the clutch, everything's fine, but it doesn't engage until you pull it out pretty far. But it doesn't slip or anything like that. New brakes are done all the way around. Cylinders were rebuilt. It's got a new master and slave cylinder on it, and new exhaust, new tires. Mechanically, I think it's, you know, pretty sound. It's got a lot of engine oil leaks and, you know, little seepage. When I put it up on my lift, I'll show you. So it just all depends on what someone wants to do with it in general, but overall it does run, you know, really nice. It does have aluminum radiator in it, but we were able to take the original fan shroud and put it back on there. But overall it does run really good. You know, we did test the horn, and the horn is working, but it's just not, you know, there's no horn button inside. So we'll go ahead and fire it up here for you so you can hear it run. You know, it actually runs pretty smooth. We'll go ahead and rev it up a little. Rev it up just a little bit. You know, it doesn't blow a lot of smoke or anything. It's kind of cold out here right now, but when you first start it, it'll puff a little bit, but overall, you know, pretty clean little runner in general. So I think this will make someone a cool little rig for sure. Along with me here in the little FJ40. It's actually really fun to drive, you know, off-road and out on the street. It is a 3-speed on the column, so it's not a floor shifter. They actually make a kit if you wanted to do that, but myself, I would probably keep it pretty original, because this thing is actually, you know, pretty original rig like you've seen in general. But you know, it's 3-speed, first, second, third, and then reverse is up, and the speedometer and the odometer aren't working. The fuel gauge does work. I just don't have a lot of gas in it. I'm a car dealer, you know. And then amp gauge works. Oil pressure reads really good. And you can see here the temp gauge doesn't work on it. The wipers, can't remember if I showed in another video. They're out of sync a little bit. It's kind of fun to watch. It needs new blades on those. You got your choke, which the choke actually does work. This throttle control just pulls out, so it's not connected. Here, this is the fan. Hopefully you can hear that. You can feel the heat coming out. But right now it's not real loud. It seems like it's only working on 1 speed. And then there's little ductwork tubes that connect right here and on the other side, so it needs new tubes on that. And this here, I'll show you in a little bit, is you put this in neutral, put it in 4-wheel drive, and put it so you can run your winch. There's a winch control over here, which isn't working here, but there's a thing up there on the front. You can see here the blinkers. Got your left. You can see this lights up too. And all the lights on the outside work and everything, and even the lights work in here. I don't know if they work in every pod, but you can't see those at night. So, and here's that little turn thing, so the vent comes in here. I actually have a Land Rover that I drive a lot, and it's got a little push down thing, so that one there has a little knob. So a couple other things I was going to mention. This wing window, actually, it does open. It's just a little stuck there on the bottom. But that one over there on the other side, it's missing this little piece, but that window is frozen in there. The windows do roll up and down. So, you know, here we're out just cruising it around. You know, the clutch doesn't feel too bad, but you got to let the pedal. There's no chatter or anything like that, no slipping, but you got to let the pedal out quite a ways before it engages. And first gear feels like a little high, high gear. Doesn't feel low gear. But anyways, it actually does drive pretty nice with the new tires and everything. It's actually pretty smooth. I would imagine probably 40, well, I don't know, probably 45, 50 miles an hour. You probably do 55. Okay, I think right now, the speedo's not working. I'm probably going, I guess I'm going probably about 50 right now. So it's not too bad. It's not, wandering majorly or anything like that. Just being big tires and short wheelbase, they wander just a little bit. I'll go ahead and put on the brakes here when I get straight. It actually stops pretty good since all the brakes are redone and stuff like that, but we'll go ahead and put the brakes on right now. It doesn't really pull, but it kind of wanders when it's braking. So anyways, I just thought that would help you a little bit, be able to see just how it drives in general. I shouldn't have took off in second there, kind of puttering along, but anyways, we'll go ahead and show you some more stuff. Hey, I just wanted to show you behind the wheel here in general how the winch works. There's that lever up on the front. It'll take two people to do it, but this is how the four-wheel drive and the winch works. So you want to put your transmission in neutral. It's basically reverse, first, second, third. But you'll have 3 speeds actually for the winch, but normally you're probably just going to run it in first gear. But this is all vacuum operated. You can see here if you pull out one click, and we'll show you the front here in a minute. The PTO isn't moving yet until actually put it in gear. So if we put it in gear right now, you probably can't hear it. I can hear it, but the PTO is working. And if you had someone up in the front and they engage the clutch up there, pull it on the winch, it would work. And so this is pulling in because it's in first gear, and you'll put it in reverse, and then it lets the winch go out the other way. If you want to put it in four-wheel drive, go ahead and put it in neutral. You're going to pull this lever all the way back, and you pull that all the way out. Now that's four-wheel low. If you want to put it in, two-wheel, just have it all the way forward. And if you want to put it in four-wheel high, that's two-wheel, and then four-wheel high, then you'd lock the hubs on it. And so anyways, I just wanted to give you a basic understanding of that. This is the wipers, the choke. I killed it because it was already warm. And right here you got your lights, and I don't think you can probably see that, but there is a little lights going on in there. It doesn't illuminate big time or anything like that, but it does. They do work. You can see over here there's a little thing here. We haven't been able to get this work, but key pushed in. That's a winch control. I'm not sure exactly how that works at all yet, and I can't remember what I just pulled it out. Oh, throttle. That's not working, but it's a throttle control. And got our heater fan. I don't know if you can hear that. You can hear the heater, and I can actually feel heat coming out of there. So anyways, we'll start it back up here and push the clutch back in so it'll kill it again. So this is, I was showing you earlier how this little vent opens here. You just turn this, and right here is your defrost. But the hoses, it needs new hoses. They're kind of beat up. One's missing on the other side, so you can't control the defroster. So anyways, we'll go ahead and show you some more stuff. Okay, here we are with the winch. I just wanted to, hopefully I can do this with one hand. I got Nolan inside. It's in first gear right now, and you can put it in first, second, and third, and when you rev it up, it goes a little faster. It's not super speedy, but the way you want to engage this, and hopefully I can do it with one hand here, I'm going to pull on the cable So right now I got my hand on the cable and the camera, so I'm going to turn it out, and it gets to a revolution, and then now it locks in. You can see here. Rev it up a little bit, Nolan. See how it's pulling in here. Okay, go ahead and stop it. Okay, so now it's still moving, obviously you can see it. So you're gonna put it in neutral. And then, now go ahead and put it in reverse. Okay, and the same thing, one hand again, and I'm gonna pull it out here to a revolution. Now it's gonna, there we go, click in. So go ahead and rev it up again. You can see now it's spooling out. So that's how basically it works. And a minute ago, go ahead and put it in neutral. And a minute ago, when I was inside, I was showing you this lever, and I wasn't thinking. This here is that cable. When you look underneath, there's a little, it almost looks like a little choke cable. This is how you can engage it in from the inside, but this cable is actually frozen inside the little wound little thing, so it needs a new cable. So you could actually work it in here and push it in and use it at the same time. So anyways, I just wanted to show you that the winch was working, which is really cool. Hey, we're gonna go ahead and take a look underneath the Land Cruiser here. You know, you're still gonna see all the still photos and everything, but I like to do a video as we've been doing in the past, so you can just see everything. Gives me a chance to poke at different things and talk about different things that, you know, normally in a photo you can see it, but talking about it's just a little bit better. So anyways, we'll just walk around here. We'll start from the front to the back. We did do a lot of stuff to it in general, so a lot of things have been upgraded, but it still needs obviously some things, but definitely drivable right now. So we'll just start here from the front to the back, and mostly we're looking at structure type stuff. But you can see here the new brake lines, new shocks. We hit all the Zerk fittings. The brakes have been rebuilt in the front and in the rear. Rebuilt the cylinders. Actually, they didn't have to be replaced, but we just had those rebuilt, and new brake shoes and everything. Serviced the rear differential, drained the old fluid out, and put new fluid in, and that's just what these, when you see dates on my stuff, that's what you'll see on there in general. But we'll go ahead and look at the frame. Definitely has, we didn't put a new shock stabilizer on it. Definitely you're going to see some surface rust underneath here. Yeah, but the frame is actually really solid, and I haven't seen any rust issues at all on it there. Go ahead and look. You know, one thing that you're going to want to do here in the future, you know, maybe you will, maybe you won't. It depends what you're going to do with it. But you can see here the front crank seal. You can see right up here. I'm just trying to get the camera in there so you can see it. You can see it's dripping a little bit up here on the front, and you can see it a little bit here dripping down on the differential. You can see on the axle, and it occasionally will drip on the ground a little bit. You can see a little drippage here. You know, a new oil pan. Probably what you need to do is put a new oil pan gasket, just to be actually fairly straightforward to get off. Put a new crank seal, and it could have a rear main going on. Until you get it off, you don't really know. You can see some drippage right here as well. Here's the PTO, which is a nice add. The PTO is actually always on because there's a, if you look right here, there's a cable, and this is frozen in here, so it needs a new cable put on it to turn the PTO on and off. But it doesn't cause any issues because the even though this is on and turning, the winch has a engage up there. You can see that, and so it's actually not going to be turning the winch at all. It's just in a free flow mode. You can see here it's got new exhaust going back from this point. You know, just taking a look at the frame. You know, structurally this rig's actually pretty good. You will see a little bit of rust right here. That's just on the running board. You know, so you could actually get a new set of these. They make some aftermarket ones too. Yeah, but it'd be nice to restore the originals, but it might be easier to find some replacements. You can see here on the bottom of the running board. If you look inside, the rockers and everything and the floors look actually pretty solid. You can see the body mount area looks good. You know, little rust scale. Some of that's undercoating, old undercoating, but actually looks pretty good. You can see right up in here in the footwell. Looks in pretty good shape. You can see up in here. This looks good too. You know, the floor pans look really nice. You know, just a lot of scale underneath here. You can see here on the back of the transfer case, little bit of seepage as well. You know, we took it quite a ways because, you know, the thing didn't, you know, when I originally bought it, you know, it hadn't ran for a few years, and it was just kind of parked, and a friend of mine wanted it, and so he got it, did some work to it, and then we did some work to it. So it's kind of nice to see it up and running from the stages when I got it. We did put new axle housing, you know, we just resealed it here and sandblasted, painted this. You can see that date when we did that. But you can see here the front of the pumpkin is leaking in between the seal. That wouldn't actually be too hard to replace. Just got to remove this, and we've got to remove the rear axles out, so, and then reseal this. And at the same time, it's probably a good idea to put a pinion seal in there. So anyways, the nice thing about this in general is just kind of a rolling finished project, and work on little things as you go, or you could restore it, you know. But the nice thing is it's actually really solid. You can see the inner wheel tubs look good. You know, it's not a rust bucket or anything like that. Definitely, you know, being an early land cruiser, which I really like. I like the early stuff when it comes to a lot of rigs. This is definitely worth restoring and just enjoying it like it is. So hopefully that gives you a good look underneath. You know, it's not perfect, but you know, if you just want to tootle around and have fun with it, show up to Cars and Coffee, you know, go through the backwoods and show up through the back of the parking lot, and you know, you can do that for sure.